Welcome, everyone, to episode 150 of Rangers Ed, presented by Lucarelli Law. If you're in Florida or New York and need a lawyer, call Lucarelli Law at 239-775-8889 and tell them the boys at Rangers Ed sent you. This is Cousin Ed. I'm here with my co-host, Little Ed, on the road again. Your theme song is going to be Willie Nelson, I think. And Coach Ed on the road soon. What's up, boys?
What's going on?
Not much,
How's everyone
fellas.
doing? Where you at now, Little Ed? Where in the world is Little Ed San Diego?
Right now, I'm actually back towards Connecticut, but earlier today I was up in Walpole, New Hampshire, and then White River Junction, Vermont. So it was a nice.
I feel like I played there. Is there a hockey team there? I wonder if there's a junior
Probably.
team.
I'm sure there's plenty of hockey teams up here.
Maybe
But yeah, it was a nice.
Massachusetts.
It was a nice week off with Thanksgiving and my birthday and stuff. Didn't do much traveling for the last, I guess, like 10, 11 days. So it was kind of nice to get back on the road, catch up on my podcast, and start planning for this episode and stuff. So nice to get back into the groove. And yeah, it was a nice week off, though, for sure, in the shop.
Yeah, it's nice. I saw you were busy in the shop. Coach.
New workbench.
Coach, what do you got coming up soon? Anything interesting?
He
How's your
secretly
holiday?
built a new workbench because he didn't want my criticism.
Smart. That's the way to do it. I think it came out great too.
Well, I had to do it specifically for the laser, so it would have it would have been a whole thing, you know. and
Laser.
laser.
There you go.
And cuz, what did I tell you? What did I tell you in the text? And we said, and what was your response?
I don't remember. What did I say?
Well, I said every man's got to build his own workbench by himself. And you asked me, do you think Mika, our 1C, built his workbench by himself?
No, you said no, not even his DJ table. And then I think we settled that they don't have to like build their own workbench, but they have to do something. I don't remember. I have to go back in the text. That was funny. You want to get a 1C who can build his own workbench.
What?
Get a 1C who can build his own workbench.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But the workbench came out great, I thought. It's funny he didn't tell Coach. Coach would have taken over the project though. So
well, Coach has his own projects. We're in the middle of trying to clean up his driveway and stuff. If I throw a wrench into that, then that gets delayed, and then he's over trying to
driveway.
Help, what?
How long does that take? Clean up your driveway?
Well, you haven't been over there in a while, I guess.
Wait, is that the driveway where the basketball hoop is?
Correct.
Or the garage?
Yes.
Oh man, that's gonna take years to clean up.
Well, we spent a good 4 or 5 hours there. We organized a lot of stuff, threw out a lot of stuff, and then we're gonna build a nice storage shed for tools and/or me and Lindsay's stuff, and it'll be a nice little situation. So, like I said, I wasn't trying to throw too many things at him, and we already had him over measuring our kitchen cabinets to do that. You know, so there's a lot going on. Why do I have to bother him with the workbench also? I can handle it.
Hey, it's also gonna delay all those other things from getting done, and that's gonna stress you out. And then there's gonna be a whole
it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a domino effect.
It's very difficult being him.
I didn't say that. You guys are the ones complaining. I built the workbench with zero complaints.
It came out great.
Well, there was one complaint.
What was that?
There was one complaint.
Which?
Somebody hit her elbow on the corner a few times.
That's true. That's true. So I overextended myself a little bit, and you know, you got to build it a little bigger than what you actually need. My office currently isn't very big right now, so the opening to walk into the kitchen's a little tight, and Lindsay cracked her elbow in the corner, and I whipped out my jigsaw and just cut it right off like Chevy Chase in Christmas Vacation. So
just get like rubber pads.
Yeah,
just get like rubber pads for the spot or something.
Yeah, it was an interesting week. It was an interesting week trying to reorganize everything. So there was just shit everywhere. So she tried to like walk over something, get around the workbench, and cracked her elbow. So I just fixed the newel post, took it right off.
That's so funny. Speaking of childproofing, man, that is intimidating, and there's a lot of stuff that you don't think about. I was like, went on ChatGPT. I'm like, what should I do to baby proof my house? Because Patrick's about to crawl any day now. He's up on all fours. He starts shaking back and forth. Like he's like, I'm getting ready. He's building those muscles. So I'm like, I gotta do something. Outlet covers. Who knew? I mean, come on. Like I'm not gonna. I gotta do that. It's telling me to lock up all the cabinet doors in the house.
Yep.
So what do? I take a piece of furniture that we put together. I buy a little lock for it, and I drill it into or screw it in.
It goes inside, and there's a clip, so it opens up like an inch, and then you press it with your finger, and you could open it all the way on the top. It's a little plastic latch. It lets you open it like an inch and a half, and then you have to press it to open it all the way.
Got it. See, I'm gonna need Coach. That's gonna delay him on the other stuff too.
I'm gonna one up Coach. My friends redid their kitchen or just had a son, I guess, like 2 years ago now. But on their cabinet, it's a magnet. So like the magnet's on the inside that keeps the cabinet closed, I guess, and then there's a magnet on the outside that like you have to pull the magnet off, which I guess is too strong for a kid, but not strong enough for an adult. So like you just pull this thing off, and then you're able to open the cabinet. It's a little bit more modern looking and a little bit nicer. So maybe you want to look into that.
Thanks. See, I got to ask Little Ed too.
We never had childproof stuff on our cabinets or outlets. We just watched the kids.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, how did I survive, man? This stuff didn't exist when my mom raised me.
It existed. It existed when you guys were small. We just didn't do it.
Like I told her about okay. Well, that's not very comforting. Thanks, Coach.
Nothing ever happened. You have to watch the kid.
Yeah, no, it's true. But yeah, so that's coming up. But Coach, what do you got going on?
Not much. We got a nice trip to Naples, Florida next week. Going to see Dominic for a day. And golf and a bunch of activities. Seat the table a couple of times, I'm sure.
Nice. Is there a big course over there that you go to, or you just go to different ones?
Yeah, it's Tiburon. Our friends have a condo there, and there's a professional tournament for the weekend. But we see that, and we play a couple of rounds of golf ourselves. And there's a country concert. It's called Live Fest on Saturday night. Every year there's a very famous country singer. This year it's Darius Rucker, so I'm looking forward to it.
It's Patrick's favorite.
And yeah.
That he falls asleep to Wagon Wheel every single day. That's so funny. That's
great
awesome.
song.
Yeah, he loves that song.
And that's
all right. Well, that sounds
roll.
Fun. That sounds fun. A lot of good stuff happening. Let's talk some hockey. Let's go right into the jersey profiles, sponsored by our friend Mark at the Blue Line Blue Shirts. We got episode 150. So number 50. Will Cooley, of course. Who else? Drafted by the Rangers, 60th overall in 2020. He recently signed a 2-year deal, $3.9 million AAV. Looks like a bargain right now. Wish that was a 6-year deal, but I digress. The pick, the interesting thing about Cooley, I always say, is the Rangers drafted Elias Anderson 7th overall. He was a complete bust. They traded him for a 2nd-round pick, and it turned into Will Cooley. So we just got to pretend that Will Cooley was the one drafted 7th overall, and everybody would be fine with that, right? So,
I mean, I think it's one of those things with draft picks that a lot of it just balances out. I don't know. You get Lundqvist in the 5th round, your 1st round's a bust, but you get Lundqvist in 5th round or whatever it was.
7th round,
whatever, and it turns into a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah. I don't know. I think. Yes and no. It depends where the picks are. I feel like the middle of the draft is like that. That top
was an interesting stat I heard.
You got to hit.
It was an interesting stat I heard. There's like 17 undrafted players that played over 1,000 games.
That is interesting. Yeah, St. Louis was undrafted. Girardi was undrafted.
There's a bunch of guys. It's just very interesting that it doesn't always have to be. Drafted. Yeah. Did he hit 1,000 games yet?
No. Probably not. He's close though. Probably 700-800.
Is that Mark's Will Cooley collection, or is that
Yeah, if you guys are listening, head on over to YouTube.
That's Mark's Will Cooley collection.
Blue Line Blue Shirts collection, and then we got Allie's coming up next, that New York Ranger girl. So yeah, shout
That
out
helmet.
to Mark at Blue
That
Line Blue
is-
Shirts for sponsoring the jersey profile, and we just missed the what's it called? Fan of New York Rangers. So shout out to Mike for giving us his card collection. I think that was a Cooley Young Guns we saw. And then he
Yep.
threw in some videos. And then there's Allie's signed Cooley jersey with the game worn third jersey gloves that we're working on a shadow box for in Little Ed's workshop. So, and there's the graphic. So yeah, he was a 2023 AHL All-Star. And I don't know if you already mentioned, he holds the Rangers record for the most hits in the season with 301, previously held by Ryan Callahan. And Little Ed's fun fact, I thought it was pretty cool that he was able to have his NHL debut versus Toronto in Toronto, and that's where he grew up, or that's where he was born. So,
No, that's pretty cool. Very
I thought
cool.
that was a nice little nugget.
Yeah, for sure. That is a nice nugget. I just want to know, did Mark have to take that helmet off the mannequin in his closet, or did he leave it? Was that on the shelf already?
That one is
Mark-
that. I'm going to fast forward here so the fans could see it again while we're talking about it. But that stays in that shadow box. That's in a glass case. And there's the stack of pucks. I think it's from a Rangers 5-1 victory. He got every goal puck from that game.
Where did you get that Cooley thing? Mark, send me the link for the shadow box and for the Cooley 50 thing you got there. Is that like from the locker room or something?
That's what I thought. I thought that they were the locker room ones, but I guess he knows a guy that makes them. So no free ads on that one, unless it's Little Ed's workshop.
Mark's got a lot. Mark's got a lot of
Little Ed's
hidden
workshop
stuff
can make a
going
better
on.
one than that. Yeah, he doesn't
He's
share
kind,
anything.
he's
He's
kind
like,
of like
oh,
Oscar. They got a lot of black market stuff going on.
yeah. Well, I actually know somebody who buys like used stuff from movies. He bids on them, and like the actual sword used in the whatever movie or some whatever, right? And he was telling me about it, that they don't like sharing the links to those things because then everybody starts getting access to it. It drives the prices up, and they can't get it as easily. It's more of a niche thing. So I feel like Mark is doing that to us. He doesn't want us to have that because we're gonna go in and outbid him for the Will Cooley helmet. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, actually, the guy said that to me. So it's a really crazy process buying that stuff. I don't know where they list it. It's like a secret auction. Anyway. All right, Will Cooley, good jersey profile. Let's get into the rundown of these games. 3 games since our live stream last week. At Boston, a 6-2 win. They were missing Pasternak. Rangers took care of Boston pretty easily. Igor Shesterkin
And
with the
McAvoy.
win. Yeah, and McAvoy, but he's been out. Pasta, I think, was the last minute scratch on the day of. Tampa at home, a 4-1 loss. Tampa was missing half their lineup too, but they still took care of the Rangers. And then they bounced back last night with a 3-2 overtime win against Dallas at home. But of course, we'll get to that. But the big news is Adam Fox against the Lightning takes a pretty big hit from Brandon Hagel. And is week to week. He's out. It's the official announcement was week to week, but not longer term. I don't really know what that means. Placed on LTIR, so he's going to miss at least 10 games or 24 days. Chris, correct me. Chris will know. So it's at least 10 games or 24 days, I think, for Foxy. All right, so let's talk about this. I mean, there's a couple of points we can make here. Let's just start with the on-ice response by the team. I know there's been a lot of talk on social media about the Rangers' lack of a response after that hit. I don't know, Coach. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Like when Trouba would throw clean hits and guys go after Trouba, we used to get aggravated and be like, why are they going after him for throwing a clean hit? Did you think the hit was dirty and warranting a response, or do you think it was a clean hit and that's just part of the game and you don't respond? What's your thought on it?
I mean, there's a couple of factors in my opinion. First of all, I don't think it was a dirty hit. The score of the game at the time, I believe I had talked to Mark about this the other night, I think it was 2-1 at the time. I want to say it was a closer game. if it's a 5-1 game and it's out of reach, which I mean they weren't really playing that well, but if it's a more towards a blowout, then I think someone should step up just for the sake of lighting a little fire and showing a team effort. But it wasn't. I don't think it was a dirty hit. It didn't go at his head. It was a clean check on the boards. It wasn't away from the boards. Fox just got caught in an awkward position. And I don't think I watched it live and I didn't say, oh, why didn't anybody go after him? It was a body check against the boards behind the net. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I thought so too, Coach. It was 3-1 Tampa at the time with 12 minutes to go. So
the game was in reach. So if you take a 4-minute penalty, you're putting the game out of reach with a pretty strong Tampa Bay power play. So
yeah, I mean, Little Ed, it's kind of
when you excuse me one more second, when you're fighting for this playoff spot and you're playing at 500, every game counts. Do you want to blow the game because of that, or I don't know. It's an in betweener.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Little Ed, the issue is fans want the Rangers to be like a gutsy team that stands up for teammates and ties into team chemistry, and you wouldn't see the Panthers take a hit like that and all that, right? But at the same time, again, everybody would get angry when Trouba would throw a huge hit, knock a guy out of the game. It would be a clean hit, and he'd have to fight immediately after throwing that hit. So I just feel like we can't be hypocrites and then expect, want our guys to do that to other teams. That's just my opinion. But at that level, the NHL, it might be a different conversation because Fox is a star player and you got to protect your star player. So I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting convo to have.
Well, I think it's more of like, to Coach Ed's point, you don't want to take yourself out of the play or put yourself in the box, especially in that situation. But it would be nice for someone to at least get in his face. I'm not saying go after him, drop the gloves, get the instigator penalty, the whole nine, but get in his face a little bit. I mean, the classic hockey line is grab his number and pay him back later. I mean, we didn't see anything later on in that period or in the game either. Maybe with a minute, I don't know if Hagel was even out there with a couple minutes left, whatever the case is. You got to look for a response at some point. Maybe someone will get his number for next game. Maybe by then Rempe will be back. I mean, who knows? But I mean, also it wasn't a dirty hit. So, you can't really expect much. You do want a little bit more grit. Like I said, maybe just get in his face a little bit. Your star player got hit. But at the same time, we're looking for Fox to be able to defend himself, So maybe it gets to the point where he comes back and then he's able to put up a few points against Tampa towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I'm with you guys. I didn't think really at the time, they didn't respond until after the game, maybe, maybe a little while later, it started to pop into my head, nobody really did anything when Fox left the game. But in the moment, I just thought it was a big hit and he got injured. I mean, it seems to be a common recurring theme for Fox that he takes big hits and misses time. I mean, this has got to be, I know that there was the knee issue. I think we can't really consider that, but I think it's the second time he's injured a shoulder and a hit.
Well, last time I think he awkwardly fell on his shoulder, if I'm not mistaken. It was in front of the net, right? I think that was maybe not the COVID season, but 2022, I want to say, or 23.
Yeah.
He kind of got slew-footed in, not intentional, but they got tangled up in front. And I think he fell on his shoulder or on his arm awkwardly. So I think it was kind of maybe that same motion of getting crunched. It wasn't an open ice hit where it separates the shoulder. It's more of that crunch where your rotator cuff and everything in there is just a little jambled up or whatever. But
I mean, also the play continued. It wasn't like he went down, hit to the head, and got injured. The play continued, so the guys played, and then all of a sudden his arm dropped and he went to the bench. It wasn't this devastating.
Yeah, it's not an open ice hit. The guy's finishing his check. It's a heavy forecheck. I mean, it's a tight game. Tampa's was trying to gain momentum at the time and continue their winning streak. It wasn't, like I said, an open ice booming hit where Fox got blindsided.
No, I'm more so talking about his like recurring injuries to his shoulder, but I think it's only been twice, and I think you're right. The first time it wasn't really a hit like that, like this time. It reminds me
Is
of
it the same shoulder?
It reminds me of when Ryan McDonough got hit by that guy in Vancouver. What was his name? Burrows, I think his name was.
Is it
was
is
just
it
like
the same shoulder that he injured last time? Do we know?
I think it is. Yes.
Well, that's a concern.
Yeah, I think so. I'm concerned about it. I mean, we talk about it again. We got to be consistent, right? We talk about it with Jack Hughes always getting hurt and with his shoulders. It's a recurring theme for him. This is now the second time, at least, that Fox is out with a shoulder injury. So we just got to keep an eye on that. And I mean, he put the work in the gym. I'll give him the credit. It was very obvious in the offseason. So yeah, I mean, Little Ed, go ahead. I mean, he put the work in, but he's still hurt.
No, yeah, I mean that's basically what I was gonna say. It sucks. That's what we wanted. That's what I was calling for in the off season in previous years to avoid something like this happening. But at the same time, it was a big forecheck hit. It was a big hit. I don't think any weightlifting or any kind of training is going to prevent you from getting injured there. You know, I mean, unless like you're a 6'7" defenseman, which clearly Fox isn't ever going to be someone like that. You know, so like I said, it'd be nice for them to return the favor. We were all excited for JT Miller to come in and kind of like bring in like a new culture. There's been a little bit more of like finishing the checks and a little bit here and there. Mika's definitely upped his game, but like after that, you don't see like an upswing of like, all right, now we have to finish all of our checks. In hockey, even if it's like you don't get the guy back, you at least have to like return the favor against the other team in general. Maybe not go after Hagel, but now go after one of their defensemen. I mean, they were missing all their star defensemen, but dump a corner into one of their defensemen or dump the puck into one of their defensemen's corner and go after one of them legally, cleanly, whatever. You know, you gotta. That's that. I guess long answer would be like that's the way I would have liked to see an answer.
A response. Yeah, 100%. 100% agree with that. So let's talk about what missing Fox means for the Rangers. We kind of got a glimpse of it last night against Dallas, mostly on the power play, right? We saw Schneider step in to the first pairing role with Gavrikov and the Morrow and Robertson pair in the bottom, Soucy and Borgen in the middle. So feel free to comment on those pairings if you want. But, you know, I want to start with the power play. I think 5 forwards on the power play is going to make Coach Ed lose it. Coach Ed had 2D on 2 power play units coming into the year. So he had 4D on the 2 power play units. It looks like the Rangers have 1D on the 2 combined units. So I don't know, Coach. How'd the power play look in your mind with 5 forwards there? And do you think that's the right call?
I 100% disagree with it. I don't see it. The way Soucy's playing now, I think he can handle it. I think I wouldn't mind giving Schneider a shot on the second unit if you want to go with 4 forwards. Even Gavrikov has got, what, 5 goals now? He's making some good plays, you know, some good opportunities. He hits shin guards too much, in my opinion, but he's making things happen. I just don't see it for 2 reasons. One, that just takes away totally from your second unit. They had the 4-minute power play last night. So if you have your 5 main guys out there, Laffy was hurt, I think, at that point. He was getting stitches or whatever. But if you have 5 main guys, they can't play for 4 minutes. And I'm not saying Brzezinski and them can't score, but you're making that second unit a lot less. I don't know. I don't see it. And everybody wants the puck. Again, we talked about this. When you have those 5 main guys, other than JT Miller in front of the net, I mean, Cooley was up at the point. He didn't know what to do with the puck at the one point. He's not a guy that he's got to be in front of the net.
I just wonder.
You know, I think you're losing that.
I just wonder, you know, remind me, the Rantanen goal, was that right after the 4-minute power play? Or was it on? It wasn't shorthanded, right? It was right after the 4-minute power play against Dallas.
It was after Trocheck hit the post. I don't even think it was the power play.
It was like right after the power play. So I don't think there were 5 forwards.
A minute or so, whatever.
But whatever. Yeah, I don't think it was the 5 forwards on the ice. But that is my concern about 5 forwards on the ice. You know, you got Panarin
100%.
walking the line. You got Panarin walking the line. Like, can Panarin run a power play? Probably better than most guys in the league. Like, I have no doubt in my mind. However, the one time he shoots it into someone's shins and it pops out of the zone, is he going to have the awareness defensively? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he's got the awareness, but he doesn't have the skating ability to stay with a guy. Fox doesn't even have that ability, so they're similar
Fox
in
has
that.
the awareness to read. If Fox can read a play and be in the right position, like he can look at a play and be like, this puck's getting out of the zone, and like cheat towards the angle and stuff. Like he's smart enough to do that. I feel like Panarin's not going to do that. So I'd almost rather have a lesser. If you're not going to trust Morrow on the power play, then get him in the Hartford. You know, also that's the other.
Yeah, I don't understand why that's his forte. He didn't even get any time on that 4 minutes. I don't think.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not saying they should put him on the power play. If they just don't think he's ready for that, then just put him in Hartford. I mean, that's the whole point of a guy like him.
That's how you get ready for it.
Yes, he could.
I mean, he's not doing anything more than Vakanainen could do.
I don't mind putting him in Hartford. I'm just saying, like, you gotta. Adam Fox is hurt. You need to put a defenseman on the power play in his place. You have a kid whose forte is offense, power play. That's his forte. That's what he excels at. He's not really that good defensively at this juncture. He's developing. So give him the opportunity on the power play or send him the heart. Like, that makes zero sense to me from a coaching perspective. So I'm curious what you think of that, Coach. From a coaching perspective.
I agree 100%.
Little Ed, I mean,
I can't believe he wasn't even out there on the 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's confusing to me as well. I mean, I would never put 5 forwards out there. I think it's just asking for a problem. I think someone was saying, I forget who, it might have even been Maloney, saying that like Panarin has the awareness enough to get back or something, and I was just like, what? Like, there's no way that's true. I forget who it was. It was someone that like has some credibility too, and I was just very confused. But either way, I'd like to see someone with like a good heavy slap shot on the point. I mean, Fox, we joke around about it that he's kind of got a muffin. He can't really shoot the puck that hard. I mean, I know he picks his spots well, but I'd like to see. I mean, I think we're kind of missing that. Trouba had that big slap shot from the point. You know, Schneider's got a decent shot. So like Coach had said, he'd be a pretty good option, I think. And
more of a wrist shot guy, Schneider.
Yeah, but at least he's got like a decent snapshot, a little harder than Fox's. I don't know. I guess they don't really have a guy that can like take a booming slap shot, you know, and maybe that's something they go after, because I think that's effective on the power play, especially when you have a guy like JT Miller in front. He won't be afraid to stand in front of it and look for the garbage rebounds, you know. So
Susi, I mean, is probably the best slap shot on the team, and it's not even that good.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Antonio on Instagram. I can't put your comment on the screen from Instagram, so if you want to join us on YouTube, I can. He actually messaged us on Instagram. He started writing. He's been a fan of ours for a while, and he started writing for Fansided as a Rangers contributor writer. So he's watching the show right now. So he agreed with Coach that he should just pop in Susi and simplify it right now. And
that makes sense to me.
Sometimes simplifying the power play, especially when it's struggling, like I said, just fire the puck on net and put in a few rebounds, get some garbage goals, you know, get the confidence back up, and then you can start working it.
I mean, not because he got that goal, Susi, that was kind of a fluke out of the box, you know, as far as offensive ability, but he makes a lot of good decisions on the wall, on the point, and joining the play when you need to, and switching with the forward. And, you know, from what I'm seeing, I think he's got he's back to where he was with Vancouver, I think. And
But
I
Coach,
don't see why
he had that goal. He had that goal earlier in the year where he stepped into the top of the circle, kind of a little above the hash.
He makes some smart decisions.
And he blasted it, and you saw his shot there. And like the fact that he could do that, even if it's only a couple of times, and you know, it could be three to five times. Not like I'm asking him to be a 20 goal scorer. That's useful, and it's a threat that the other team has to, you know. I think that's what Little Ed's saying. Like, we don't really have a shooting threat defensively
from the
at
blue
all.
line.
Yeah, there's no defenseman who's like an actual shooting threat. So we need to see if Susie can do that. I think Susie, if you're not going to put Morrow there for his playmaking, then send him to Hartford. Put Vakanainen in, whatever, and then play Susie on the power play or Schneider. I think that you can't really go with 5 forwards. It's I don't think that's going to work, but I'm not shocked because I think David Quinn runs the power play, so I'm not really shocked, Coach.
I mean, you can't blame it on David Quinn because it's like in football. You know, everybody blames the offensive coordinator, defense. The head coach is going to say, "What are we doing here?"
Yeah, maybe.
It's not going to happen. Sullivan's not letting Quinn do what the hell he wants. He's telling you that they're discussing this, and he's saying,
Yeah.
I would be very surprised.
I was just thinking of David Quinn.
I know.
I wasn't being serious, but you're right. For sure, they're discussing it. They probably operate as a unit. That's why the whole coaching staff came together. It wasn't like But anyway, all right. So this conversation on the power play segments well into our milestone moment, bringing that back, which is sponsored by Old Country Tile. Coach, Old Country Tile, Old Country Ceramic Tile. Tell me.
I'm going to have to get that right on the commercial. I'm going to have to practice it.
Just say it 5 times fast. Old Country Ceramic Tile. But they really bring the goods, right? So
yeah, they have over 1,000 tile choices in the store. They have 2 locations. So when you're remodeling your kitchen or bathroom or even outdoor areas, they have outside ceramic, porcelain, pavers. They got everything you need as far as manufactured tile, and with a lot of displays to look at. So get over there. They have a lot of choices. It's great customer service, good family-run business. So get over there when you need something for your project.
Yeah, awesome. And our milestone moment is Mika Zibanejad this time. Fastest 2 power play goals by the same player since 2007, 45 seconds apart. For some reason in the chat, I was like 8 seconds. And Ali was like, asterisk 45 seconds. I was like, oh, God, why did I think it was 8 seconds?
Yeah.
Who had it before in 2007? Faster than that.
Matt Cullen.
Yes, it was Matt Cullen. Boyle had the
Cullen.
answer.
Wow. Look at that.
Well, that was Boyle's answer, but that wasn't the answer to the trivia question.
The trivia question was that the one where it was like the most obvious answers? It was like,
because I said Matt Cullen too, because I saw it on Instagram or something.
Oh.
And I yelled to Kathy, Matt Cullen, it's Matt Cullen, it's Matt Cullen.
And you pretended to
like I didn't see it before.
Yeah, you pretended it.
And then I was wrong.
Yeah, that's funny.
Just for the record, I was a sophomore at Fordham and I had 2 goals in 6 seconds.
Really?
On the power play?
2 goals in 6 seconds. No. 5 on 5.
You had the speed to score 6 seconds from center ice? Wow. It's pretty good. I'm shocked by that. What was it, like a blast, like skate into the zone, blasted or something?
I scored on a semi breakaway, and then we had the face off. Went back to their D. I tipped it. I forecheck tipped it, D to D pass, and I went in and scored again.
Oh, you deflected a D to D? Nice.
Didn't you used to have that newspaper article? Coach is on delay right now.
Worse than it is when he's watching the game.
Look at how he's frozen.
I'm at 34. I'm at 34-28 right now. Coach, he asked if you had a newspaper article.
Actually, there is. I have it somewhere. I could find that.
Well, you're gonna go through your boxes, Coach, and like dig it out, and you don't have it hanging on the wall?
I don't need it. I know exactly where it is. If there's an article while you guys are talking, I'll go grab the book.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I have a newspaper article too, Ed. Ironically, when I was like 6, the Oceanside Herald did a feature on me as the star goaltender of the Stallions roller hockey league. And they have my school photo in there from first grade, and it's like it says star goaltender. I was the goalie, star goaltender Eddie Armelino and stuff. So it's pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but coach, you got it.
I'm looking. We could keep talking.
All right, so it's organized chaos for Coach Ed. He thinks he knows where it is, but you're gonna have to look later because now
I'm good. We could keep going. I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, I want to get into Coach's Corner, which is sponsored by Bella Italia.
Hey everybody, Coach Ed here. I'm over here in the shop at Bella Italia, Marble Granite Quartz, picking up my order for a nice little bathroom I'm doing. I've been a contractor almost as long as I'm a hockey coach. So listen to me when I tell you, when you want the quality work and craftsmanship, come and see the boys over at Bella. They serve all 5 boroughs, Westchester, Long Island, all the way out to Montauk. Whether you're a Ranger fan, Islander fan, Devils fan, they're going to take care of you no matter what. Make sure you give them a call, 516-561-1018. Let's go Rangers. All right, boys, bring it in.
All right, Coach. What's your corner this week?
I think I had a couple of things to discuss. First was on the analytics end, and I encourage people to listen to on NHL radio. They have a segment on Saturday and Sunday morning called the Data Show, and all they talk about is analytics, the history of analytics, and they debate some things in analytics. So last week they had something I thought was very interesting about the expected goals and expected saves. So the one guy was saying, like I had said a couple of weeks ago, who's taking that high danger chance? Who's taking that shot on the high danger chance? And he also said the fact that if there's not a stat yet of, I'd like to have Mike Kelly on again to talk to him about this because I thought it was very interesting. Like say Panarin's coming in on a shot in the high slot. The players today are so good at studying goalie habits, like the goalie study players' habits, that the better players are, say, looking top right corner and shooting at bottom left above the pad. So the goalies that are better at it, obviously that's why their high danger saves are better. But they want to try to compare those kind of shots of where he was looking and where he was aiming and so on. You know, that kind of a cerebral look at it. I thought it was very interesting on putting another variable in it, because I think it's a little bit of a, he said and he also said short term, 3 or 4 games, it's not a great stat, but over 20 or more games, then they start really looking at who's really doing well in that area. A goalie could have 2 great games against high danger chances, but over the 40 or 50 games, he's not as consistent. So it's something that they look into more, especially scouting. Like say you're the number 1 goalie in Oceanside Stallions, and your high danger, your goal saved above expected is what? I don't even know what the number is. How do the numbers go?
What do you mean? Like
what's a good number? Say 15 goals saved, shots saved above.
Higher than that. Higher than that. Somewhere around like 40 to 60.
And your father's calling me. I'm a scout and going, oh, he's got this. This is his goal saved above expected, blah, blah, blah. And now you go watch them and you see they're playing low-level teams with only 1 skilled guy on the team. And the 4th liners are getting shots from the high slot. They're not really good shooters. So,
right.
Scouts have to now look into that.
Yeah.
It was more from a scouting perspective of minor league players and college players.
That's interesting because I bet sports at that level is all about looking for a little edge here or there. They talk about it in baseball all the time, more so than other sports, but they talk about it in hockey too, changing your stick blade, using different colored tape, the way you angle your stick right before you shoot, so that's interesting, like where you're looking
It's
as a
about the
shooter.
deception. That's what they said, the deception factor.
That's interesting. So that's why I guess they focus on the goalies, track the puck, like do not look at the player, right? Like, because the guys are probably like looking to pass, looking to shoot and then whip it. And they have such good accuracy, they don't even really need to see the net. They feel it, they peripherally or something, they can accurately shoot. It's crazy. Yeah, that's interesting. That's got to be tough as a scout to know where a player's looking on a shot.
Yeah, so on the second part of the segment, which I thought was incredible. I was talking to Eddie about it a little bit the other day. It's something that I didn't realize they do, to be honest with you. I always thought there should be communication between the goalies and the defensemen, mostly, as far as where you wanted to push the guy out in front of the net. This was about screens and how the goalies play screenshots. So what they were saying was, and this happened against the game, I think it was Freddie Anderson, the Carolina game. And I said, when the Rangers scored, Freddie Anderson was looking, he was on the post. Freddie Anderson was on this post. The Ranger guy was battling here. And I'm sorry, wait a minute. The Ranger guy was battling here. So he looked over here to see where the puck was. And the Rangers scored on this side. And I was like, why is he looking there and leaving the whole part of the net? So they were explaining on this show that between the team has meetings and in practice, the goalie tells them, or the goalie coach or whatever coaches say, if there's a screen here, goalie's going to look on the left. So the forward blocking it, distracting the players up top, has to force that guy to this side to where the goalie's going to see it. So now another deception comes in. So now coaches on the bench or whatever they watch film and they say, okay, Anderson goes to his left, and now they have to try to work the puck to this side quicker and deceive the guy that's blocking him. It's all this big cat and mouse game that, something we don't realize when we say, oh my God, the goalie was over exaggerating the post, or, we're blaming the goalie and we're blaming the guys in front, where it's also another guy up top. So when we see guys covering a guy in a certain way up top, like, why don't we go after him? They're pushing a guy to a certain area to make it a better situation down low. Something that I would have never have guessed that it's affected by up on top as well.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean,
the game's played at such a high speed now, obviously, especially when you see it in person. That's all happens in a split second. So if this guy up top makes one little commitment this way by mistake, and the goalie's looking over here, you're like, oh my God, he had the whole net. What was the goalie doing? In the meantime, like we always say, it's 5 guys on the ice at once have to play defense. It's not just one. It's not the guy in front battling. It's not with the goalie. It's 5 guys. It's got to be a teamwork effort. That's all got to come together. And that's when, things happen, and it was another interesting thing. They had a quote by Marty St. Louis. They got spanked the other night. I forget who they played, but they interviewed Marty St. Louis in his press conference, and they said, what happened, blah, blah, blah. He goes, he actually took the blame and said, that's on me. We didn't prepare them to play against a certain team the way they were playing. We just tried to play our game, and we didn't adjust to that team. So on a game in and game out basis, I compare this to the Tampa game. We spanked them 2 weeks ago. John Cooper figured something out because he came in with a light lineup. He didn't have a lot of starters, and they came in and spanked the Rangers. So they figured something out and compensated for that game they lost 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. So all these games within the game with coaches and the staff, and there's a lot going on other than just skating and stick handling, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's intense, man. I mean, there's so many little things that happen, in the film room. There's a lot of coaches that we don't even see, which video coaches and probably puck coaches, skill coaches, like player development coach. Like we talk about them sometimes, but you don't really see those guys. There's probably guys that work for the Rangers who are like, hey, when you shoot, why don't you angle it this way? Or I was watching this goalie and if you look up to the left, he tends to lean that way, or the little things like that. Every single
Yeah.
game are probably discussed, and it's really interesting.
Because if it makes a difference in a split second playing the game.
Which is
you need
hockey
to have
is
that edge, especially with the size of these goalies. I mean, all we always say is we got to get guys in front of the net and create traffic. And now we had another element. They call it layers from up top to the goalie. Even on a forecheck, there's layers. One guy should be in, second layer, third layer. Don't let that guy out. And again, I think that's what's going to frustrate the coaches even more in their press conferences. Like when they'll confront Sullivan and say, well, blah, 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 blah. They don't even, most of these reporters and stuff have no idea what's going on when it comes to that. I think they should educate themselves a little more and try to understand a little more instead of just watching it and say, oh, Trouba sucked on that play. You know what I mean? They constantly harp on certain things when they don't really know all the nuances of what's going on throughout. And you don't know what the coach is like. How many times have I said, if we say, why aren't the Rangers forechecking? Why isn't Laffy doing this? The coaches might have something going on saying, I don't want you going hard. I want you forcing the guy one way. There might be a reason why he's doing that. And the coaches aren't necessarily going to give that all away in a pregame press conference or postgame or post-practice. There's things that they need to do and control that sometimes we just need to understand that there's a reason for it. I don't know. It's definitely a lot of things going on.
There's a fine line. There's a fine line, though, Coach, because that is true, but that doesn't mean they're absolved of criticism, right? So part of the reason we have a podcast, or any podcast exists for hockey, is to talk about things that we're seeing.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying there's a fine line between doing that, pointing it out, questioning it, and then on the other side just being like, that's an idiotic play, or this guy that's ridiculous. Yeah, we shouldn't be doing that. But you definitely can criticize it and say, I wonder what the coach is doing. Why did that keep happening? Why did that player make that decision? What's going on here? We'll never know, because it's like, a national secret.
I agree. Trust me, I question a lot of things. I question a lot of things when I'm watching all the time. But
did you
you
catch
got to learn that sometimes there's a reason, sometimes maybe not. The guy could be lazy. Whatever the case, there could be a lot of excuses. But I'm saying sometimes you have to try to understand certain things.
When Laff dumped it in one time, and he went to the bench, it was just like a random play, and whoever was between the benches, I wish I remembered, but whoever was between the benches pointed out that Laff got a lot of praise from Sullivan when he got to the bench. So then Maloney was like, Sullivan's going to love that play. It was like a very simple play. It was like one deke, dump it in, change. It was like he didn't even do anything. And then you see that the coaching staff is praising the kid. So fans like me that are like, why isn't Laff being dynamic? What the hell? Maybe they're stifling that for a reason. Maybe they want him to not do that, and then he gets rewarded when he dumps it in, or I don't know. I'm just that's just a point I noticed.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that I mean, for him to dump it in and get a lot of praise from the coach, that tells me something is going on there.
Right
between those, the coach and the player. So, all right. Anything else, Coach?
No, I think that covers it.
Yeah, good points.
Any questions?
No, not from me. Little Ed, you good? Any questions?
No, sorry. I'm trying to. We're having some technical difficulties with our visual. I mean, for some reason, if you hold your phone vertically, on Twitter and stuff like that, it's really zooms in on our faces. So I apologize for the noise right there, but I'm trying to fix it. I don't know.
Oh.
So I apologize to everyone in the chat. We're working on it. Apparently,
I heard there's some. Yeah, I heard there's some technical stuff going on for some people. I got text. Coach wasn't on camera, so I don't know. We use this program called StreamYard. It's not our fault. The new features we're trying to work through, so I apologize for that. But I want to shout out my sister who's actually watching this episode. So thank you for that. She wanted to point out to me that that's not the only article that I was mentioned in Stallions Roller Hockey Coach. There was another one that was titled that Rihanna scores big time. She was the first girl to score in the Stallions Roller Hockey League. She played the first girl to score. And then in the subtext of that article, it made a huge deal. It said her brother Eddie scored 5 goals. So that was later on when I shifted to play. I was playing forward.
We posted that on our Instagram very early on. So if you go over to our Instagram page, it's definitely on there. Might have been like one of our first posts, actually.
That's great. I got to find that article, but it's funny because it literally says in like the subtext, and I always was mad as a kid, like, why am I just mad? I scored 5 goals. Like, come on. So it's pretty funny.
You couldn't just give it to your sister. You had to complain that you weren't mentioned.
I know. It's how it is, Coach. You know what it's like to have siblings.
I have my Stallion Roller Hockey article somewhere too, Ed. I'll have to dig those out of the attic one day.
You should. She also was laughing at the commercial, Coach. She thought it was funny as well. So shout out to her for watching. All right, let's go to the next topic. So big win against Dallas. In my mind, when you watch a team and they're floundering a little bit, and the Rangers weren't necessarily floundering, but they were at home ice. They were dominating games. They were controlling play and losing. They were not able to score. It went on for 10, 11 games. This looked like another one of those games, right? Casey DeSmith, a backup goalie. I texted in the chat, Casey DeDryden, right? It's the Ken Dryden joke that never dies. Every goalie is Ken Dryden. I'm like, come on. They get the goal after the Rangers hit 5 posts. Rantanen scores. Rangers hadn't tied a game late in a long time. I just want to say that I sent a Care Bears positive energy gif, and the Rangers tied the game and won. So I may have to bring the Care Bears gif back in games that they're down. But anyway, they end up coming back and tying the game, and it's the first time that they did. I think I saw on Twitter the first time since March of 2024 or something like that. It was a long time ago that the Rangers tied a game in the last 3 minutes of the game. And we say it all the time, like they never score when they pull the goalie. It's true. They haven't scored and pulled the goalie in a long time, right?
Well, that was the.
I'm not going to say I made any bold prediction that they're going to come back and win it. I saw all that in the text. Oh, I called it. I saw, but they were dominating. So I had a feeling that they were going to make it interesting. I didn't know if they were going to finish it. They were dominating that game even after they led it to 2-1 lead. It was a good gesture. It was a good choice to pull the goalie. It was a good game they were playing. Obviously, after last game, they had 13 shots. They had 35 shots against Dallas.
Yeah, when was the last time the Rangers outshot a team like that?
I don't know, but they played well. They really did. Dallas is one of the toughest opponents in the NHL. I mean,
and what I'd like to point out also,
playoff style team.
Again, everybody with their frustration. They shut down McDavid and Draisaitl pretty much twice.
Yep.
They could have won those games, but they faltered, obviously. And they shut down. Robertson was on a streak that was like he was the player of the month or whatever. And Wyatt Johnson was like second. They've been on fire.
And they shut down Rantanen, other than his goal, which was
they had that 2-on-1 goal, but they shut them down.
Yeah, they didn't do anything the rest of the game. I agree.
They shut them down. They're playing a strong defensive game, and I think it's going to pay off. I think they're going to be all right.
After that goal, Maloney was like, "Oh, that's just bad luck," and I was like, "Dude, I don't want to hear anything about bad luck anymore. Like, figure it out, man. Figure it out." They tied the game. It gets to OT, and then Vladislav Gavrikov, man, my boy. 5 goals. Who would have thought that? How many goals did he have last year? I don't even know. I gotta look that up. Probably 5.
I was saying,
I think he had 5 all year. They said it. They asked Sully in the post game.
The fadeaway backhander. Like, what the hell? Dude?
Yeah, but interestingly enough, I've been a big critic of his so far this year. Obviously, if you're listening, but in his post game interview in the locker room, you talk about a humble guy. He goes, none of that would have happened if Zibby and Brett didn't make the play up top, and I created a little distraction, and they were able to get the puck to the net. Just like a good team player, good attitude. Giving praise to the other guys on the team. I thought that was a pretty good quote.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and I found the article.
Oh, the Fordham one.
2 goals, 8 seconds apart. I stand corrected. 8 seconds. 8.
That's more realistic.
You need that extra second with the foot speed.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Well, I'll send a picture of the article to Eddie, and he can post it on the screen or something.
Yeah, just give Eddie more work to do. Here, Eddie.
Or Allie, whatever.
Get this in. Wow, that's funny. That's great, though. Yeah, Coach, I remember you're actually, I don't know if you still have it, but at one point I looked it up on Fordham Hockey's website, and you had the record for penalty minutes as well.
As a junior, but someone broke that record also.
Oh, someone broke it, yeah. And you're also what does he say? The only guy to take my skate off and try to stab.
Try to stab someone.
Oh, geez. No, but Coach wasn't just a mucker, despite those pims. My dad used to always say how good you were and like how talented you were, and that he was always like the fighter, and that you were always the skill guy growing up. So I'm just giving you crap.
Well, I was the instigator when your father came
to clean.
I was the instigator when your father cleaned up the mess.
Nice. That's funny. But yeah, so Coach Ed was a skill guy from what I heard. Don't let him fool you. But yeah, I mean, Little Ed, do you think this can like turn the season around at home? I mean, the crowd seemed to get into it a little. The team just to win that game, it shows like we did it. We pulled it out. We earned that win. How do we feel going to next home game now as a player? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the players have to feel good about it. I mean, I know Allie and Mark felt great leaving the Garden last night. Coach Ed and I were not at this one. But my biggest complaint is that the Garden's been quiet. And I named this episode Chicken or the Egg because I feel like where some people feel like the team's got to give the fans a reason to cheer, but I feel like the fans should cheer no matter what. I mean, even like the national anthem, most of the time we're there and it's like crickets like afterwards, like other places, other buildings, they're cheering from the puck drop. I don't really see that at the Garden. So, like, yes, the players have to give the fans a reason to cheer. And I see that the most out of, like, the third line. Brodzinski, you got Laba. They're the guys that are creating the most energy and at least trying to get the fans into it. I mean, it'd be nice, obviously, if they obviously want to put the puck in the net, but they're doing all those little things to try to get the fans into it. So I think that's obviously something that the rest of the team should build on. And it's the things that we say, like, if you're not going to put up a point on the score sheet, then you got to do something else to affect the game. It's the same thing. Like, get the crowd into it by just finishing that extra check. Like Cooley, JT Miller. We just talked about it earlier, where we want like the run and gun hockey a little bit more. We've been saying that's what they need for playoff style and this, that, and the other, and we just haven't seen that. So even if the team's not scoring, I think they got to start playing with a little bit more energy and getting the fans into it. And from what Mark and Ali said yesterday, it was a little bit better. We were able to hear it on the broadcast with like the Let's Go Rangers chants and stuff. So it definitely sounded good. But I think it goes both ways. Now that the team has got the win, I think the Garden has to come in next game from the drop, fired up and supporting them and letting them hear it right off the drop, because I mean, us three have played hockey before. It's a lot more fun and a lot better playing in front of a crowd. And that's all these guys are. They're just big kids playing in front of a crowd. So if they hear the Let's Go Rangers chants and the Igor chant, I mean, that gets you fired up. That's what gets the adrenaline going. So it was nice to see some of the ties changing there. And yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Sullivan touched on that in his press conference too. He said these guys care about the fans and they want to succeed at home. And they get disappointed when they can't finish. It's frustrating to them. So, I agree with you. What you're saying is, they want the excitement. They want the fans to get into it. They love playing in front of a good crowd. It just hasn't been working out. So, like you said, I think the fans should understand that they are trying very hard, and they don't, they're not just going through the motions, and you got to support them a little bit more than usual, I think.
I was even watching Chicklets today. Matheson was on the show, plays in Montreal. He said that like all he has to do is like poke check the puck away or just like the simplest little hockey play, and he hears cheers. Like things like that, like don't get the fans going at the Garden. Whereas
I think
like that's other places, like they appreciate, like even on like a penalty kill, like when the puck goes down the other end, you remember everyone used to cheer, like, yeah, like great job on the kill. That doesn't happen anymore. It's like it's I don't know. I know I'm probably being nitpicky and I feel spoiled, like a spoiled brat going to the Garden, but like there was a reason why it's the world's most famous arena. There's a reason why everyone's excited to go play there. There's a reason why, and it just doesn't feel that way to me recently.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about a little bit why that might be, particularly with last year, because I feel like as late as the President's Trophy season, the Rangers crowd was pretty good. I just think last year was so bad. But that's not an excuse because, you may disagree with me. I think it's a little bit of a balance. I think that the players on the ice need to put in the effort to earn the cheers from the fans. But I also think that the fans need to kind of lift those players up because you support the team when they're struggling. It's not always an effort issue. The team has had effort all season. This has not been an issue with effort for the Rangers this year or chemistry. It's been a little bit of bad luck. It's been, maybe a little bit of lack of talent, lack of finishing ability, whatever you want to argue it was. But it's not that the team hasn't worked hard. So as a fan, all we can really ask for is that they want to win more than we want them to win. That's it. Like I want the team I root for to want to win and to show that. And when they play, that's why fans love Matt Rempe and they love Sean Avery and they love guys like that, because those guys, all they want to do is go out there and work as hard as they possibly can, earn a spot and win. And fans can relate to that. So in my opinion, I agree with you, but in my opinion, the players on the ice need to earn it. I just think they are earning it. I don't think they're not earning it. They're just not winning the games, but they're dominating these games. If you go through all these home games that they lost, I don't know, what is it, 8 or 9? I bet you if we went one by one, we would agree that the Rangers in 75% of those games have dominated those games and deserve to win them. So as fans, it's frustrating, but that's not a reason to boo. If you want to boo last year when guys are floating around and they're not putting effort in, I can say fine as a fan. Like you deserve. You're paying money for those tickets, and the team quits or whatever. You want to boo, then boo. That's not happening. It's not happening this year.
That's a good point. I agree with that.
So, and again, I'm going to go back to Francisco Lindor for the Mets. He went through a stretch. They made a huge deal about this. He was like 0 for 50. It was a crazy slump. And then there was a social media movement to get to the Citi Field and give him a standing ovation in his first at-bat in the next game. And the fans did it. It was such a big movement that like the fans, once everybody stood up and started doing it, the ones who didn't go on social did it too. And the whole crowd was cheering for this guy in an 0 for 50 slump. And he like lined a base hit right up the middle, So it's like, that works too.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Like after, the last game we were at, what was that? The Blues game. Brancy brought it. Like that guy brings the energy. Like even like at the end, like you could tell, like he just let everything out. Like he gives like the fist pump, and he's just like he lets out like this breath, and you could tell like he's giving it his all. And then the Garden's kind of just quiet. I'm like, this guy is like probably top 5 national anthem singers in the league. I guess. Like he's a baritone opera award-winning, Grammy award-winning singer. And then we can't even give a few cheers after that. I don't know. And then me and Coach were walking down the stairwell after they won that game against the Blues. And there used to be Let's Go Rangers chants in the stairwells. I tried to get one, nothing. And I turned to Coach. I was like, maybe I'm the problem. Because every time I try to do one, I got nothing.
It's not you. If they start getting going, I think the fans will come around. But we have to realize there's a reason you see these memes about the Rangers, and I don't mean to offend any of our listeners in any way. So I just want to be clear about that. But the Rangers fan base is like a dumb fan base. He got it up. He got it up. Look at this. Coach Ed, his second and third goals of the season, just 8 seconds apart. Hilarious. That's amazing.
To raise the score 4-1 in favor of Fordham. So
I got a couple comments. One, I love that you saved that article because newspaper articles nowadays, like, dude, that's amazing. Number two, why is it underlined? And number three, who underlined it? Number four, wow, those lines are pretty straight too. Was a ruler used to underline those?
Of course, I used it. I mean, it was either me, my father, or my sister might have done it. I don't remember, but I only underlined parts that were talking about me. You don't have to read the whole article. Not everybody sits there and wants to read the entire article.
Poppy used to do the same thing with the ruler and everything. He would underline the things he wanted me to read because he knew I wasn't reading the whole thing.
With a ruler. I love that.
I mean, it's in an article. It's in an article like this. Are you going to read the whole thing?
No.
So?
But nowadays they would just use a highlighter, I feel like, not underline it.
Well,
but
whatever.
I love that he did that. That is impressive underlining. But look at that article, man. How do you keep that? You store it in like a plastic?
No, it's in
In
a
a
photo,
photo
album.
album.
Oh, photo album, yeah. So it's sealed. Okay. Nice, coach. Looks good.
But you, I mean, I don't mean to. I know you're going to get mad at me, but getting back to Coach's Corner.
I'm gonna get mad at you. Oh, for bringing us back.
Because you guys always
40
say I
minutes
jump
ago?
around and ruins the flow. But again, going to Sullivan's press conference, he talked about managing the puck. He talked about his better skilled players, letting them be creative, but there's a fine line, he said. The situations. We go back to the Colorado game where they could have won that game. And they had a few mismanagements of the puck that gave McKinnon and McCarr chances, and they're going to capitalize. In this game last night, they didn't.
Yep.
They didn't do it. They tied up guys, and they didn't make – I didn't see any glaring mistakes. The JT Miller play, he took a bad angle on the puck. It went off his stick. Schneider read it, went down the half wall, thought he would get the puck. It bounced off his stick. It was a bad luck play, a little bit off balance by JT. Things happen like that. Happens to Panarin, happens to Fox, happens to the best players in the world.
They also
were able to come back from that. What, bud?
They also drew a lot of penalties because of their hard work. And puck management, things like that. I think Maloney commented on that with Zibanejad behind the net at one point. So I think this string of games coming up, obviously they're all important, but I want to see what they do against Colorado. Otter was playing tough. Brady Tkachuk's back. But I want to see what they do against Colorado this time. What are they, 18-1 or something? 18-1-3 or something ridiculous?
That team is on a mission, dude.
Yeah.
They're on a mission.
But the Rangers had them that game. They had them tight.
They played well.
And they let it go because of a couple of mistakes. So hopefully I want to see if they learn from it and if they manage that game better. It's going to be an interesting game. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, God, I don't want to get off the rails, but the way they lost in the playoffs last year after trading Rantanen and he scored that hat trick and McKinnon's interview post game in Game 7, I don't know. That team is on a mission. It's gonna be tough.
I think the biggest thing for them is they have Landeskog back.
They're gonna be tough to beat,
and that allows McKinnon to be McKinnon.
Yeah.
Well, Landeskog reels McKinnon in, and McKinnon's such a high energy, like emotional.
Well, he doesn't
guy.
have to be the captain in the locker room. He doesn't have to be the main guy that everyone's looking to. He could just focus on being that lunatic and let Landeskog be the chill guy.
Yeah, and Landeskog kind of brings him back to like, hey, dude, that's a little too far, Yeah,
I mean,
let the guy have his chocolate bar. Like, he's not gonna gain body fat, Like,
well, hopefully that's what we have with JT and Trocheck, but it's a little bit.
Yeah, Trocheck's like that to JT Miller for us, exactly.
But
that's an interesting comparison.
Opposite letters.
Well, what a game Troche had last night, man.
Yeah,
what a
he's
game.
great. I said it for the Thanksgiving video I made for you. Like, he's the one I'm most appreciative for right now. I love that Oscar gave me that jersey because, like, you just see how important he is to the team. You know, when he was out, the way the team played, the way the lineup looked versus now, it's just night and day. It's different. It's completely different. You know. Anyway, all right. Let's go to our stars of the week. We will start. I got to start remembering when these clips get played. We will start with the MVP of the week. I'll start us off here. I went with Will Cooley. I don't know if you guys will agree with that, but I didn't even look at the stats to see who scored how many goals and assists. And I just think that game tying goal, anyone who scored that goal, that was such an important goal for this team to get that win at home, that I gave it to Will Cooley and his celly after and the energy he brings every game. I gave it to him. That was the whole week for me, was that game tying goal. Get the point, you know. Anyway.
Yeah, man. Why not? I'm going with Zibby though, because I feel like last year we would have done anything for Zibby to be a point per game player, and this stretch of games he was a point per game player. Actually, more than that. The 2 power play goals were huge, even though the power play is technically struggling a little bit right now. And then he's got the assist. I feel like the offense is relying heavily on Mika right now, not in a bad way. He's driving the offense. And like I said before, he's all over the place. He's playing tough. He's drawing penalties. And his hair is soaking wet in between periods when they interview him. So
he's playing well
for Mika.
I love his game right now. I'm with you. So Mika's got 9 goals and 11 assists in 28 games. So he's on pace for 26 goals. He's been pretty unlucky. That's not great, and 32 assists. So about a 60-point season right now he's on pace for. So if he gets that up to 70, 75 in that range, I mean, that's fine with me, right? And he's right there. He's playing so well. I like that pick. Coach, who's your MVP?
I got Zibby also. I hear you about Cooley, but that goal he got last night in overtime, that was a pass to Laffy.
The tying goal.
Yeah. That was a pass to Laffy.
I said
I love Cooley. I'm not giving him an MVP of the 3 games, though. I get what you're saying. It was an important goal for sure, but not of the MVP of the 3 games. Zibby, you look at the stat sheet, he took him. Boston was hurting as far as player personnel, but you know what? If we lost that game, everybody would have been bitching. We needed to win that game 6-2. They did. Large part of him. He scored. He got the assist against Tampa in the game that they could hardly get a shot. And last night he was more than noticeable. I'm up and down the ice, killing penalties, power play. I'm giving him the MVP. He hasn't took a night off to me all year.
Yeah, he's been really good. And Coach, those goals he scored, you know, it is fair. I could have went with Zibby because the goals he scored against Boston, it was a 6-2 game, but they weren't 6-2 breadman padding his stats goals. I mean, it was 2-0. No. It was 2-0. There was like 6 minutes to go in the second period. Still 2-0, right? Within reach for Boston, and he pots those 2 power play goals, and it puts the game out of reach pretty much 4-0 going into the third. It's tough. That's a tough comeback, right? So they were pretty big goals.
Yeah, I think a few people's heart rate was getting higher during that Boston game when they got the 2 goals and they made it 4-2.
Exactly. Imagine if Zibby hadn't scored those 2 goals, right? So, yeah, I like the Zibby pick. All right, highlight play of the week. Start with Little Ed. Who you got?
I mean, I guess I have to go with Zibby's both power play goals. If I had to pick one, I love that slap pass that he does to Miller, even though it was deflected. I love that little slap pass. I mean, he used to do it to Kreider all the time. So I'm just going to go with his back-to-back power play goals.
Dude, you stole my pick.
I mean, it's everyone's pick. Whatever. Move on.
Yeah, I got the
same.
Not
my pick.
I got the
Coach.
same, the back-to-back power play goals. For
Well,
me.
Coach has the what was the one that you put in the chat? It was like the screen by Edstrom as Panarin made the pass to Trocheck.
Yeah, but I just want to say, like, wasn't one of the Zibby goals just like a clanker or something, like it deflected in like a weird
That was the one
way?
he tried to pass to Miller. That was the second
Right.
one. But the
So
first
all
one
those-
also was kind of a snipe too, even though he fanned on it. It was a little bit of a knuckle puck. That
all
was a
of
nice
those
shot too.
goals. No, but I was just saying, like, all those chances he had this year, the breakaway, he's in on the goalie, he splits the D. He had so many chances. He's been stoned or hit the post or missed, and that goes in for him. And then the relief on his face going like this down the bench, to me, I don't care. Like, I love it. He deserves that goal. So
What I say last episode or 2 episodes ago, it's all the same in the score sheet.
That's what our grandpa used to say, right, Coach?
Yep.
They're all line
Yep,
drives.
line
in the box
drive
score?
in the book. I mean, that's
Yeah.
he didn't invent that saying. That's the old saying.
Right.
So I'm giving it to the Soucy 2-on-1 out of the penalty box in a big game against Dallas. My question to you is, if you give the pass on a 2-on-1, then put the rebound in, why can't you get an assist on your own goal?
If you pass it to the other guy, they shoot, the goalie kicks it out, and then you score. Why can't you get an assist on your own goal? Well, because you scored. So I don't understand.
But you made the play. You made the original pass to
What if
create
you
the
bank it
play.
off the wall to yourself?
No, I didn't say that. You made it. I didn't say that. Now you're changing it. He made a pass on a 2-on-1, and the fact to me that he didn't give up on the play and he kept going hard. A lot of times in coaching, they call it a curl away.
So you
So
think every give and
2-on-1, the
go
guy
should be a 2-point play for the goal scorer?
Well, I mean, you're making the play.
I hear you.
I think they actually gave the assist to Sherry, didn't they?
Did they?
Sure.
Yeah, they gave it to Sherry because he made the pass out of the zones, which was odd to me.
To who?
Because Sherry sent it up to Soucy.
Yeah, they
Soucy
him
gave
an
it.
assist.
They gave Sherry the assist.
Who's Sherry?
Sherry.
But anyway, to me, they call that play in coaching. Normally, what happens is the shot's taken, and the guy who made the pass will do a curl away. They call it. So you're curling away from the play instead of going to the net. Soucy went hard to the net, saw the trickling puck, and the D almost got it, and he slapped it in. I thought that was a big play, and, you got to give credit to the guy for, his effort on that. In a big game, I thought he played big last night. He played very good last night.
Soucy, yeah, he's good. He's been good. I don't think we can really complain about him. Coming
So
into the
Sherry
year,
from the defense, Sherry reading the play that the penalty was over, chipping it off the wall to Soucy, 2-on-1 rebound score.
love
You
it.
want me to draw it on the chalkboard?
That was an unbelievable pass by Sherry. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the whole play was nice.
I mean, again, everybody's bitching about Sherry. Why is he in the lineup? That guy had some game last night.
He's like he's another one. He brings it
He
every
had
single night.
some game last night. If you're watching,
the problem with guys like him is you can't have a team full of them.
I agree. I never said we need a team full of them.
You can have 2 or 3 guys like that maybe in the forward corps, and you're good because he's got
That
a
guy
high-end
made some
motor,
plays last night.
brings energy, high-end motor. He has skill. I know he doesn't have the finishing ability, but he's got some skill.
Smart decisions.
Yeah, he's a good awareness, good
Puck
thinking.
management, I
puck
should say.
management, hockey IQ.
Well, it helps that the coach is his father-in-law or whatever.
Oh, enough with that. You're going to say that every time we bring it up?
No, I'm just saying, like, think about when he has dinner with him. He's probably all they probably do is talk about simplify your game. Just simplify.
I bet you they don't talk. I bet you they don't talk about
He
it
drives him
at all.
home.
Because Sullivan's daughter probably goes, "Dad, you better not talk about hockey. I don't want to hear it."
yeah, probably. Well, he drives him home from the game and gives him a father-son talk. Sherry's just sitting there with his head down. He's like, "How'd you not put that in?"
Dude, we should do another skit with Coach Ed and I'll play Sherry or something.
Yeah. How did you not put that in? I'm working my ass off out there. What do you want me to do?
You
I'm
got it
sorry.
buried, though.
Yeah, come on. Like they're getting on me in the media saying it's nepotism. In your control, Connor. Anyway, he's been good. I've liked his game. Who cares? People, they don't take. You got to take the positives out of everything, right? That's what I'm trying to do lately. And last year was so negative. The beginning of this year was tough as a fan. I'm just trying to be positive. Like Sherry's not going to score a lot of goals. He might only score 5 goals this year, 3 goals. But he brings a lot of positive things to the team. So just try to enjoy those things that he does, and that's it. He'll either be off the team at some point or he'll be scoring goals, right? So it's one or the other. All right. Jesper Foss, Key Contributor Award. Coach, going to you.
That I'll give to Cooley on that goal last night. That I'll give to Cooley. Made a strong game down low. I don't know what he was doing up top on the power play, but he's playing a tough game. He's simplifying. He's not trying to toe drag like he was in the beginning. I think he's playing a good game. I'll give Cooley that. Jesby.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna go with Carson Soucy. He had a big goal, and I just think he's playing really well. I think offensively, the Rangers don't have a real offensive defenseman. They have a lot of what I call DFDs, right? Defensive defensemen. So they don't really have the OFDs right now. So with Fox out, they're going to have to score on the back end. I said it in the chat. The game against Dallas, first game without Fox, 2 goals from defensemen. You got to have games like that where the defensemen contribute. And I think Soucy might be one of those guys that sneakily is going to do that. And I think he's showing now as he gets more comfortable in Sullivan's system. Like I said, he's got a good shot, and his offensive instincts are starting to show. It's becoming evident that he is more of a two-way guy than just a defensive guy. So I've been happy with his game, and that was a big goal. Okay, Little Ed.
I'm giving it to Gavrikov for those reasons. I mean, he's got a few points in this stretch, especially with Fox out. He's going to have to step it up a little bit and play even better. I know he hasn't really stood out much to coach. I would like a little bit more out of him also. We had a discussion. Speaking of Mikey 150, he's making the return tonight with our Fantasy 150 coming up next. He pointed out that Gavrikov's only got 9 hits in 20-something games, which I think is crazy.
Bananas. That's bananas.
But other than that, we talked about it before. He's chipping in offensively, which we weren't expecting. And I've noticed it too. Like, he joins the play a lot. I mean, almost too much, I think. But, if he's going to keep putting the puck in the net, what can you say? Obviously, they're having conversations that we don't know about. So if he's joining the play and it's working, keep it up as long as someone else is back.
Yeah, I just looked it up. 10 hits, 45 blocks. I mean, Robertson has only played 19 games and has 29 hits. So I just think – I say it a lot. The hitting stat, just existing in the NHL over the course of 82 games, you should have about 40 hits. But if you just exist, like playing like, regular
I agree.
So for the guys that have 40 hits or so at the end of the year, I'm like, all right, that guy just existed. He didn't make an impact, 10 hits is not a lot. Hitting is a flawed stat, but it's not a lot of hits. I don't know, Coach. Does that worry you?
Yeah, hitting's a flawed stat. If you're going to say, did he have 100 or 96 hits?
No,
but for him to have 10 recorded hits in 20 some odd games is not a flawed stat. To me, he should be. And again, my eye test is telling me he's not playing as well as I expected. I'm not saying he's playing bad, but I think he should be more physical. That's all. That's not a flawed stat. That's not saying did he have 20 or 24 hits. He's got 10 hits. That's something missing there. Fox should have 10 hits.
Yeah.
If Fox
And-
has 10 hits, you're like, all right, it's Adam Fox. He's not a physical defenseman. Gavrikov is a thick, defensive-minded defenseman. He should have like 35 hits right now in 20 games.
And if
That's
Robertson
less
has
than
more-
one hit a game.
Yeah, if Robertson has more than him, I mean, I don't know for sure, but wouldn't it be the same statistician tracking both of those guys on the Rangers? I don't know how that works, but you can't even say that it's like an opinion thing or whatever, subjective.
Right.
But whatever, either way. I didn't want to go too
No.
deep into it, but that would be one thing I'd like to see Gavrikov improve on, of course.
Yeah, I agree. But coach, I just want to bring this up. Little Ed's point about him bringing more offense, and I'm curious before we go to the fantasy 150.
You keep freezing, cuz I don't know if that's me.
No, he's freezing on me too.
All right, we'll let Cuz readjust it. Let's go into Coach Ed's copyright doghouse of the week.
Stuff at the
Jimmy-
Winter Classic this year.
What'd you say?
No,
I don't
I'm
think
sorry,
we're going to be
my-
wearing
my
those heavy
computer
shirts and
just
sweatshirts
keeps
at
like
the,
connecting
Winter Classic this year.
to a VPN or something. I don't know what it's doing, but it keeps changing my Wi-Fi. Can you guys see me?
No, we
Yeah.
can't. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Okay, so let me just. So my point is that sometimes when guys are not producing offensively, we say they've been focusing on defense, and that's the reason that their offensive game is taking a hit. So I'm wondering if Gavrikov is putting some effort to chip in more goals or assists. Does that work in the reverse? You think that maybe his defensive game is taking a hit?
I don't think his defensive game's taking a hit. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe we can talk about it next episode and see like what his hits are and stuff last year with the Kings. Maybe he just never was a big. I mean, Coach had always wished that I was more physical also, and I think I played pretty good defense, blocking shots and stuff too. So, I mean, it's not in everyone's game, but I feel like in the NHL it kind of needs to be. I mean, there's a reason why. I mean, probably many reasons why I didn't make it to the NHL, but like we always say in the playoffs and stuff, you got to be physical.
So last year he had 50 hits and 140 blocks. The year before that, 55 hits, 114.
So that's about average for him.
Yeah. The year before that, 74 hits. The year before that, 124. So he was a little more physical.
I mean,
early this year.
hitting takes yourself out of the play. I mean, obviously there's a risk for injury and stuff like that. So, I mean, like I have no complaints realistically with his defensive game. Obviously he's top 10 in the defensive rating, like across the entire NHL. So I guess beggars can't be choosers. If he's going to keep putting the puck in the net, whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah, positioning, stick positioning, gap control. He does a lot of good things out there defensively, but yeah, he could be more physical, Coach. I agree. All right. This brings us to Coach Ed's copyright Doghouse Award. Bring out the little doghouse that Little Ed's workshop.
I already played it. I'm not going to play it again. While you
you did it?
While you were
That's
frozen,
fine. All right. Well, it is sponsored by Suter Sweet Treats. Sorry, I missed it. Coach, it's just Coach grilling a hot dog. It's not anything I haven't seen before. So, Coach, did you say who was in your doghouse yet or no?
Not yet.
No, we did not get that far.
All
I
right,
just
good.
wanted to quickly say thank you to Tennessee Meg for sending up the very nice Thanksgiving, care package for Coach for our Thanksgiving party on Saturday at Kathy's apartment or complex, whatever you want to call it. Beautifully done Thanksgiving cookies with pilgrims, Indians, turkeys, you name it. We took some videos and pictures of us opening the cookies, so we'll definitely be putting them up on our socials. So Tennessee Meg and Tennessee Michelle, thank you as always, and keep up the good work. And if you guys want to order your cookies, head on over to Suter Sweet Treats Instagram and DM them for your special event, and they'll take care of you, as always.
Let me tell you, order something for Christmas because it was the hit of the party. What a
For
great
sure.
job she did.
Always.
Yeah, she does a
And they
she does a
taste
great job.
taste good too.
Yeah, they're tough to eat because they're so well made. That's the problem, but they're delicious when you actually eat them. All right, Coach, who you got in the doghouse this week?
I mean, even though he did put up some numbers this week. Did I have bread in the doghouse last week?
I think he's been in for you all year, Coach.
I mean, again, in the game we needed him, Tampa Bay, he was invisible. I'm sorry. I got to leave him in there. He's making some good plays. I'm not saying he's playing horrible, but we need him to be that point per game, 2 points, and not useless points. I'm sorry. He's got to be more on it. 5 on 5. I don't think
he is point per
5
game
on 5.
right
I don't
now.
think he's doing much at all.
He is point per game right now. He had 4 points against Boston. But yeah, I think what you're saying, if I'm getting it, is you'd rather him actually get a point per game than load up on like 5 points against a depleted opponent and then go ghost for 3 games or something like that, right?
I mean, Tampa Bay was invisible.
Yeah. He doesn't do well against teams that play that style, man. It's hard. It's just the way
He's
it
got to
is.
figure it out. Like I was talking about before, the job of coaches and players is to figure things out, and that's what he's got to do. He can't rely on the same thing all the time. He's got to counter what they're doing with something else. He's that good of a finesse player. He's got to figure it out. My opinion.
Okay. Little Ed, who you got?
I want to see what he does in this stretch against Ottawa, Colorado, and Vegas.
Another tough stretch. We'll get to that a little later. Little Ed.
I'm throwing JT Miller in there. You know, he's not playing bad. He's just not really what we expected, I don't think. He's definitely playing a little injured, so I can't really give him too much hate for that. But at the same time, I mean, like I said, like the energy across the lineup isn't exactly what we expected. So for now, I'll put him in there because I can't really think of anyone else.
Yeah, I also had JT Miller this time. I took Laugh Out last week as he broke out, and I'm really close to putting him back in. I like his game, but it's like you're talking about with Bread. I feel that way with Laugh too. Like he's got to put up points. All he had in these 3 games was an empty net goal. That's it in the 3 games. I mean, that's just not.
Yeah, but he made it different. He made a difference last night. He played really good last night.
I like his game. That's why I'm not putting him in. I think he's playing well, but I'm just getting frustrated with the lack of production. It's really getting to
I get it.
So he's got to figure it out and put points in the net. He's got to play the right way. Coach, he's got to do what the coaches tell him. I get all that, but he's got to score within that too. He's a scorer on this team. He should be. He's not.
Yeah, he's got to find the right chemistry with the right line. I mean, we saw it with Kakko and Hedl that towards the end of that year with the kids line. We saw him dominate with Panarin and Trocheck all of that year in 2024. I don't know what what chemistry needs to be created or found or whatever, but I don't know. Yeah, he's playing the right way. He's just not really getting a lot of opportunities, and he's got a really good shot. I'd like for him to shoot the puck a lot more.
Very underrated shot.
Yeah. He took a wrist shot from like the tops of the circles last night, or I think it was last night. And like the goalie gloved it. It wasn't like a hard save, but like it was still like it got there like a split second. I feel like it was a rip for like a wrist shot.
Yeah, he's got a great shot and good vision. He's just got to use it, and he's close. But yeah, I'm going JT Miller. He like you said, I'm not going to repeat what you said. He's probably hurt. I get it. But it's just about getting it done, like enough excuses, enough with the excuses. The team, guys have roles on teams, period. JT Miller's role is number 1 center, point per game player, leader. He took on all that stuff, I mean, that's what he wanted. He had a no move clause. He got offered a trade to the Rangers. He said yes. He came here. They offered him the captaincy. He said yes. He makes $8 million a year. He's still got a no move clause. This is where he wants to be. But he's got to if he's going to take on those roles, we can't just be like, oh, it's too hard for him. Let's give him a break. He's got to be able to do it all. That's what he took on himself. So he's got to be better. I don't think he's hurting the team, but he makes a couple of like bonehead plays here and there that I just don't understand. I mean, it reminds me when his first tenure sometimes where his nickname was like Bozo among the fans because he'd make up one random play that you're like, what the hell is that? Or the puck would just awkwardly bounce off his stick like a controller was unplugged. They keep saying that analogy, but it just, I don't know. I'll try and point it out to you guys when I see it.
The body
It's just
language
a
could
red-
definitely improve with him. The only thing I'll say is, like Messier said it in that clip that I sent you guys today, is like, and you even pointed out that like this year could just be like a transition year. New leadership, new coaching, new style of play. I mean, listen, I still have faith. I was looking at the standings yesterday. They're last in the Metro, but they're only like what, 4 points out of first place.
No, they're second to
So-
last.
Well, whatever, but like the Devils or the Hurricanes are in first, and they only have like 6 points on them. So I'm saying the separation between the first and the last, they can go on a run here.
The whole division is within 5 points.
That's what I mean, you know. So they
And-
go on a run
and 3
here, and
games
the
played.
Devils don't, and the Hurricanes don't, or whatever. Jack Hughes is
Definitely.
going to be out for a little while longer. Who knows what happens after the Olympics? I'll say it again: Rangers are winning the Metro,
It's crazy. The whole division's within 5 points and 3 games played. I mean,
and we're complaining about the Rangers having like a horrible season.
They're really not. It's just at
I
home.
know.
They haven't
It's
gotten
crazy.
it done, you know? If they
Mhm.
were 500 at home, they might be the top team in the Eastern
We
Conference.
probably would be.
They have the best road record. So
They said
in
that on the
league,
radio today. If they had like 2 or 3 more wins at home, I think they'd be in first or second of the Metro. I think he said.
Ed, they're 4 points out of first place in the Metro. The whole division's within 5 games. So it's 2 wins. Granted, they have played more games than everyone else in the Metro, but we're talking about 3 games played, 28 games into the year. We're not talking game 75. It's not like they played 75 games and Devils have played 72,
Exactly.
right? Because now there's not enough runway. I mean, we have 3/4 of a season to go. So, all right. Well,
And
Did we miss
Dallas
anyone's
is shutting
dog
out New Jersey right now.
nice.
I just found my Game 7 versus the Devils in 1994 ticket stub.
Coach Ed's just going through his stuff.
He's got to
redesigning
organize the
Rangers.
attic. He's got to do it at some point. He doesn't have enough time, you know?
No, this
Yeah.
is in the book. It's in the book.
All right, let's go to the Fantasy 150, sponsored by Little Ed's Workshop. We brought up Adam Fox today before you play it, so I wanted to bring this back. Little Ed gave this to me. For those
That's
of
an
you
OG,
that follow
that's
the
an
show,
OG plaque. I don't do those
This is-
anymore.
yeah, it's worth a lot because if anyone's interested, this isn't made anymore. It's a one of one. So not the best part about this for those that follow this podcast, and I'll show this on the video, is the note on the back, which you can't read, but I'll read it to you. You see, oh, there you go. As commissioner of the Jersey Curse, which doesn't exist, but whatever, I hereby declare that this does not directly represent a jersey, therefore it does not directly affect the player represented by this plaque. Meanwhile, Fox is out with a long-term injury.
Yeah, although
man.
he had probably 2 games after that plaque was given to you. What's it
No, that was
dated?
years
Maybe
ago.
that's when he injured his shoulder.
Yeah,
the
no,
first
he
time.
sent me years ago. This is when I think he really got the workshop going again. This is a while ago, Ed. I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, 2.5.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I used to just stain them by hand with stencils and vinyl stencils and stuff. And
I will say,
Obviously,
if that
we've
is
upgraded.
old and you have better versions that you've upgraded, I don't have that. So clearly, you've been making them for everybody. I think Mark has like 6
You've
plaques.
seen them. They have the it's the 3D letters. They're all cut out of wood separately now. You know,
Yeah.
so
I'll have to think about who I want since it doesn't represent the jersey and place
Well,
the order.
this year's Fantasy 150 is sponsored by Little Ed's Workshop. We got our Rangers Ed 150 Fantasy League going. The winner of the league is going to get a gift card to Little Ed's Workshop. And when we hit 500 subscribers as a YouTube or as a podcast on our YouTube, I will also be giving out a $200 gift certificate to a lucky fan in a raffle. So if you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching this podcast and you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please do. It helps us out as a podcast, as a show and everything. And it'll also help you out, hopefully winning $200 to the workshop. And $200 goes a long way in the workshop because all of the stuff is fairly priced in terms of the quality of what you're getting and all that good stuff. So definitely subscribe to the YouTube. And without with that being said, here's Mikey 150 with this week's Fantasy 150.
Welcome back to the Rangers Ed 150. We're back with you for the 25-26 NHL season with all your fantasy news, information, and updates. So without further ado, let's jump right in. First off, we're going to jump into some of the top players, maybe some guys that you did not expect to see dominating fantasy leagues, regardless of the format. First off on that list is Morgan Geekie. He's pumped in 20 goals through 28 games. And is on a point per game pace this season. He's 2 behind Nathan McKinnon for the league lead in goals. He pumps in power play points, shots, hits, you name it. Face-off wins, he's there. He is dominating all fantasy formats. Second on that list is rookie sensation for the New York Islanders, Matthew Schaefer. This 18-year-old pumped in 19 points through 27 games. He's got 9 power play points. He contributes to blocks, lots of shots, and he's getting there with his physical game, so the hits will come. So moving forward, this kid is going to be a titan in all fantasy formats for many years to come. Last on that list, we got Cutter Gauthier of the Anaheim Ducks. This kid's put in 30 points through 26 games played, 6 power play points, 111 shots, plus 17. And just like Schaefer, this kid is going to be a fantasy force for many years to come. Next, we got some major league dumpster fires to look at. First off, we got Pavel Dorofeyev of the Vegas Golden Knights. This kid pumped in 6 goals through his first 5 games, and then through the next 20, he put in only 5. This kid was primed to be a power play threat, playing up there with Jack Eichel, a major goal-scoring threat through Vegas, but he has gone ice cold, and in his current state, he is a very average fantasy player. Next up, we got JT Miller of the New York Rangers. I'm not going to hammer on this one, but suffice it to say that the effort has not been there, and 7 goals, 7 assists through 26 games played is not cutting it for the Rangers captain. Last up, we got Sam Bennett. Same story as JT Miller. This guy's put up 12 points through 25 games. He looks tired after the last 2 years, making it all the way to the Cup. So take him with a grain of salt. His fantasy stock is plummeting unless he gets some energy in those legs. Finally, we got 3 quick grabs off the waiver wire for you if your team is struggling and needs some help in the immediate future. First off, we got Anton Lundell of the Florida Panthers. This guy's 37% owned, so good chance he could be available in your league. We got Ross Colton of the Colorado Avalanche at 16% owned. Hot chance he is also available. And lastly, we got Beckett Seneke of the Anaheim Ducks, who is 32% owned across the board in Yahoo leagues. Check out those guys. And until next week, this has been your Rangers Ed 150.
My mic was muted. Mikey P loves Morgan Geekie. And I got to say, I read a stat. He was second in the NHL in goals since the beginning of last year, January 1st, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like right behind McKinnon, I think.
Yeah, so he is good, I will say. I was impressed by him. He's got a good shot. It's one of those guys, like, I don't want to say cut, but like, let go by 2 other organizations, and Boston just took a chance, and he really has worked on his game. I mean, it's one of those like talent meets effort dynamics, I think, at that level, everybody's talented. So who's going to put in the extra work to take a step? And he seems to be one of those guys. So Mikey, I got to give him some credit.
Welcome back, Mikey.
Yeah, welcome back to Mikey P, of course.
Yep.
All right, that was your Fantasy 150. Little Ed's workshop, I will say, is doing pretty good this year in the league. I was checking this. I think I played you recently. You beat me, so I was impressed by that. I see some ads coming in. I get the notifications on the phone. Little Ed ad drops. I don't know if that's you or Mikey Produci's doing that, but somebody's in there doing ad drops. Someone's working the waiver wire.
We might
Sounds
have
good.
picked up on your tip that you gave us in the first edition of the Fantasy 150. That's all I'm going to say. So
Yeah,
if
it's smart.
if you missed out on that tip, you should definitely go back and check it out.
Yeah, I'll give some more tips. I don't mind sharing them. This is a fun league. Obviously, I want to win the gift card to the workshop, but it's. I knew Coach Ed would laugh at that.
I
Easy,
can't take it.
easy to make Coach Ed laugh. All right, let's.
Wait, one last thing for the workshop. I wanted to give our loyal listeners and viewers, people who actually watch or listen to the podcast, not just follow us on socials, a special promo code for the workshop. So it's going to be EDPOD, EDPOD, as the promo code for the workshop. So hit me up on Instagram and give me that promo code and prove to me that you listened to the episode, and you'll get a discount that not everyone else gets. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's great. Definitely. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Upcoming schedule, which is sponsored by Sorrento's of Long Beach. Make sure when you're watching these games from your couch, you place your order at Sorrento's. You're going to have to go pick it up. They don't deliver, but it is worth it. Get it, bring it home to watch these games. All right. So we got, I guess we should add the live stream in. Next week's going to be a live stream against the Blackhawks. That game is going to be on, I think, NHL on TNT. And you can also watch it on HBO Max. So we'll be doing a live stream at 7:30 p.m. next Wednesday. So we'll include that game. All right, so let me do the updated standings. Little Ed and Cousin Ed went 1-2 last week. We both said win-win-loss. They went win-loss-win. So Little Ed in first at 15-10. I'm in second at 13-12. And Coach, you went 2-1 last week with your win-win-win. They won 2 out of 3. So you are tied with me for second at 13-12 now. So it's getting close. We're all within 2 games here. All right. So Little Ed, you're in first as you've been all year. So you get to choose. You go first or last. Ottawa, Colorado, Ottawa on the road, Colorado, Vegas at home, and I think Chicago's on the road. Right? Am I right about that?
Yeah. So we got road, home, road. So for you viewers, if the time is in red, they're on the road, and if the time is in blue, they're at home. So yeah, see that?
Coach, wow. Coach loves that little the little nuance that you got there.
And I added the record on there for the league or whatever we call it this year for the trivia, and of course you can find where you can watch every game. So I'm going to go with a win against Ottawa, payback against Colorado at the Garden with a win. I'll go with the loss against Vegas. Vegas is a tough team. And then we'll come back with a win against Chicago on the road. So win-win, loss-win.
All right. Coach, what do you got?
I'm going to have to copy Little Ed on that. I was going to say the loss to Vegas. You know what? I'll go 4-0. I'm going to go 4-0.
Love it. All right. So Little Ed, win-win, loss-win. Coach Ed, win-win, win-win. I'm going to go win, loss, win-win. So
They're bound to go on a big streak.
I think they lose to Colorado. It's an afternoon game. I think they'll play well, but Colorado's tough. And I think they lost to Vegas last game. They're going to bounce back against Vegas. I think that's the team they bounce back against because I think they can match that style of play when they play Sully's system. That's the style he wants them to play. So if they actually play his system in that game, they got a chance to win a close one. Colorado, to me, is too tough. So I'll go win, loss, win. All right, so there'll be some movement in the standings. We got a couple differences here.
I think they're going to learn from their mistakes.
As Coach said, they're going to lose a game yet. Chris says his coach predicted a loss. Well, Coach's record is the same as the team's, right? So, no, I'm just kidding.
No, I noticed that we must have missed a week or something because our games don't add up to the amount of games played, right?
We didn't miss a week. What we did was for a couple of weeks, we only did 3 games, even if they played 4. So there's a couple that went under the hay under the wall there.
Got it.
The word I'm looking for. All right. So let's take note of everybody's picks. And yeah, good episode, boys. That was fun. I'm looking forward to the slate of games against some tough opponents. I think the Rangers are proving they could play opponents well, tough opponents well. I mean, they played Colorado tough. They played Vegas tough. They played Washington tough earlier in the year. They played Edmonton tough. Tampa, they played tough. They beat them 1 out of 2. So I don't think that as fans we should go into these games and be like, oh, they're going to lose these games. They're going to be in these games. They're going to be battling. The team has shown all year that they're giving the effort and they're adjusting to this new system. And, hopefully Igor can steal one of the two with Colorado and Vegas, and they can win the other 2 games and come out of this 3 out of 4 at least, Gotta be positive.
For sure. Yeah. Next week, we'll be back with another live stream. The Blackhawks are playing on our usual recording or live stream night. So we'll be watching the game together with you guys. Hopefully, Mark will be back in action with Ali as well. And join us in the chat as we watch that game. We'll have a little bit more of a structured intermission shows with Coach's Corner and post-game show and things like that. So we usually get a lot of viewers hanging out with us. It's usually a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and hopefully we see a Rangers win. And then we'll be back the next week with a regular episode. So, fans, thank you so much for listening and watching. I know it was kind of hard with whatever was going on with the cameras and stuff on the StreamYard tonight, but next week we'll have it figured out for the live stream and for the rest of the season. So, thanks for sticking with us. I noticed we didn't lose a lot of viewers because of that. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, I echo that. And thank you as well to our sponsors and our partners for all the help they give us and for, committing to our podcast and helping make this possible as well. All right. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving break. And we are back to regular programming here. Let's go. Holidays around the corner. Let's go into the holidays with, some Rangers playing some good hockey and some wins. Coach, signing off.
Do it. Thanks to the fans. Again, I still have to sometimes think about how we have this going, and it's great. Sponsorships and the fans listening, comments, and meeting people. It's great stuff. Keep up the good work, fellas.
Yeah, and if you guys knew. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to shout out O'Brien's Bar and Grill, our newest partner, right across the street from the Garden, formerly known as Trax. We're not going to mention that much longer. We only have to the end of the year to let you guys know that it was formerly known as Trax. So head on over to O'Brien's before, during, and after the game. They have phenomenal baked clams by Nikki Fatillo's family recipe, which they were awesome. I had them last week or 2 weeks ago. They have great wings, great appetizers, finger foods, and everything. So check them out.
For sure.
And of course,
we're also going to have
Guinness.
Yeah, definitely. We're also going to have some viewing parties there of away games, right, Ed? We're going to have some get-togethers.
Yep.
Is that the bar we watched the playoff game against Washington in?
No,
that was
that was different.
That was not it. Yep.
The Blarney Stone.
Nope.
All right.
Stouts.
I assumed because I don't even remember, honestly. All right, boys. Good episode. A lot of fun getting together. Let's go Rangers. Let's get some wins. I'll see y'all next week. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Love you guys.
Have a good night, fellas. Love you guys.
Let's go Rangers, and let's go Rangers, Ed.